Hello, and welcome back to another episode of The Process. I am really excited to talk to you today about just a reflection that I have been having over the past week because I've done something new and it really scared me. And now I'm getting to see it all play out. And I'm just really overwhelmed with gratitude, to be honest with you. So I want to document this because this is the first time that I am running something like this. And I want to be able to look back on this and hear my thoughts, hear my reactions in real time. So, to give some context, this week I started a 30-day gratitude practice challenge in my circle community. I opened it up to the public as something free to offer to people. And we are currently on, at the time of recording this, day 4. By the time this is released, it'll probably be over because I have so many episodes in the bank right now. But anyway, I had this idea about 2 weeks ago where I was on a coaching call with my business coach, and he was talking to the group about essentially how can we offer things to our communities that isn't necessarily the norm in the industry, or that other people in your industry would look at you and go, "Why are you doing that for free?" And I loved this idea because I think it's really easy to think that things need to be done a certain way, or whatever you put in, you need to get back, in terms of if you put money in, if you put time in, then you need to get money for that. But my vision for what I am building is so much bigger than that. So when he said that, I thought, why don't I do this? I had this inclination a couple of weeks earlier where I thought, I need to start a community. I need to have a free community because I have a community for the women that I'm coaching, but having something that is open to the public, I just thought would be really fun and a really cool way to start building more connections and be able to give back more. So this happened, I think it was about 2 weeks ago. And the challenge started 3 days ago. So that means that I basically had 10 days from the day that I first thought of it to when the challenge started. In those 10 days, I promoted it on my social media. I made the community with the help of my husband. I got all that set up. I created resources for the challenge. I came up with a structure and a theme and a flow for the challenge. I came up with topics for group calls that I'm hosting every week. I just did the first one right before I hit record on this call, this podcast episode. And all of that came together in 10 days. Now, the reason why I'm so excited about this is because even 6 months ago, if you had proposed an idea like this to me, first of all, I wasn't even coaching yet. I was only starting to think about coaching as being something I wanted to do, like really do. I've been wanting to do it for ages, but actually taking some sort of step and action towards that. 6 months ago, if you had said to me, you're going to have this idea and now you're going to put it together and you're going to launch it and it's going to happen in 10 days, I would have laughed in your face. I would not have even been able to fathom the concept of going from the initial idea to full-fledged happening in that short span of time. Because I, in the past, have had this pattern of, I have this idea, it sounds really cool, I get in my head, I overthink, I become way too stressed about the logistics, and then I just forget about it, or I just push it to the side and say, I'll do that later. I'll do that at another time. I just need to do X, Y, and Z first before I can do that. But not this time. This time I had the thought, and straight away I went to, well, how could I actually make this happen? Instead of, I won't be able to do this, I thought, how could I? What would I actually need to make happen in order to make this a real thing? And that scared the crap out of me. I'm going to be completely honest with you, but it also gave me such a sense of excitement because this feels so aligned with the direction that I'm going and the person that I am becoming, that this time I knew I needed to just see it through and see what would happen. And so on Wednesday last week, so today is Thursday, so about a week ago, I posted about it on my stories on Instagram for the first time. And then I did it again on Friday. And then on Friday, after I posted on my story, I said, you know what? I'm just going to start messaging people. I'm just going to reach out to women in my life and see if this is something they'd be interested in. No pressure, but I'm just going to see if I can get a few people through. Because on Friday, like 6 days ago, I did not have a single person in this community. Today and on Monday, I had 25 women in this community. 25 women. I also had all the resources done. I had made posts. I had scheduled posts for the week. I had done all of these things just by really looking at the task and going, okay, what are all the individual steps that I need to take? And instead of getting overwhelmed by them, I just did each one step by step, took breaks when I needed to, kind of spread it out over Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And then I launched it on Monday and we started. And the other really exciting thing was that I wasn't sure exactly how much of an expectation to put into the group in terms of how we should be practicing or how we should be sharing. I wanted people to be active in the community and posting, but I didn't want to make people feel pressured or obligated to do something because it can be really nerve-wracking to share, to post anything in a group, but especially something like gratitude practice where sometimes it can be quite personal. I wasn't sure exactly how that was going to go. And so I reflected on this, I meditated on this, and this has been really interesting as well. The meditation that I've done over the last couple of weeks that has given me so much clarity around this whole process and being able to just go for it and be okay if there was only going to be 3 or 4 women. So the fact that there's 25 women is actually mind-blowing to me. But something that I did was I decided to just remove any and all parameters that I could to make it as easy and as simple as possible for people to participate. So the only rule, the only thing that I had was to say 3 things and to say it out loud or to write it down. So any way that they want to express this gratitude is fine by me. So they could record a video, record an audio, say it to their partner, say it to their dog, just say it out loud to themselves, write it in a journal, write it in their notes app on their phone, whatever it is, just get it out of their head so that it's more than just thinking it and then letting it go. But that was it. And then I had no expectation of people sharing. But on the Monday, I decided, you know what? I'm going to share mine and I'm not going to put a call to action. I'm not going to ask people to do anything. I'm just going to share it. And I'm going to lead with this energy of I'm going to share. And I did that. And then I had 10 women share within the next 6 to 8 hours throughout the evening because I have a bunch of people in Australia and then I have a bunch of people in Canada. So slightly different time zones where the people in Canada are a day behind us in Australia. But I was so blown away and so humbled and so honored to see that these women were willing to share and that this energy that I was leading with was then having this ripple effect down onto these women and allowing them to share as well. This has been such a powerful lesson for me to understand the importance of leading with that intention, leading with the embodiment of what it is that you are teaching, what it is that you are wanting others to see, what it is that you're wanting others, not even wanting others to do, but just being the embodiment and allowing it to just spill out and flow wherever it's going to go. I've heard a lot about this in different capacities, but this experience has really solidified this for me because I did not put any expectation. And I thought about it. I wrestled with it. I said, in my head, I was like, should I put that everyone needs to share one thing? Should I make it so that I make a post every day and everyone responds to the post? Should I? And then taking a step back and reflecting and going, actually, I'm not going to do any of that. I am just going to lead and I'm going to do what I think is going to be from a place of full embodiment as the leader, as the guide for this program, but also as a woman who is continuing to practice my own gratitude journey, is continuing to work on this muscle. What would I want to see from a leader? And then just doing that. And by doing that, it created this incredible effect of having these other women contribute and comment on each other's posts and share and learn from each other. And we're only on day 4. So I cannot wait to see what's going to happen throughout the rest of this experience. But all of this is coming from this place of having the idea and then acting on it essentially before I could talk myself out of it, before I could get to that part in my typical pattern where I overthink and I get really overwhelmed by the logistics. I interrupted the pattern. I cut it and I went in a different direction. I went in the direction of what I thought someone who is a successful leader and coach would do. And this is something that I think I have spoken about on previous episodes of this podcast, where you have to lead with the identity. You have to lead with who you are and who you believe yourself to be. That has to come first. Just like the saying, be, do, have. It's in that order for a reason. If you haven't heard of this before, I would strongly encourage you to sit on it, meditate with it. Be, do, have. This is the pattern that I have followed in creating this group, where when I had the thought, instead of getting caught up, instead of doing what my previous patterns would have done, I thought to myself, what would the successful coach do? Like I said. And then I embodied that feeling and moved from there. So I became that version of myself. Then I took action from that version of myself. And now I have this beautiful community of all these women. And I am seriously, I think I'm going to say this so many times in this episode, but I'm overwhelmed. I am overwhelmed with such a deep sense of gratitude and fulfillment and alignment that this is what I am meant to be doing. And this is the right direction for me. I feel it in every single fiber of my being. But I did not wait until I was ready. I didn't wait until I had spoken to a bunch of people to say, hey, would you be interested if I was to do something like this? Would you be willing to join? I said, hey, I'm doing this thing. If you'd like to be if you'd like to be involved, I would love to have you. Here's the link. And I just kept going. And I was like, this is happening. This is happening, whether there's one woman or 50 women. I am doing this, and I am no longer waiting to feel ready in order to move. That was the previous version of me that created the life that I have had up until recently. Now I'm moving at a different pace, at a different level, at a different frequency, if you will, if you want to tap into that woo-woo energy, because I want different results. I am allowing different results to come into my life because I'm moving in a different way. And I am so freaking proud of myself, honestly. And I can't wait to look back on this in a year or 5 years, because like I said, even 6 months ago, 4 months ago, I started this podcast. So that means 5 or 6 months ago, I would not have been able to do what I am doing right now. I would not have been able to just trust myself and move through this and allow it to be what it needed to be, and just like let go of the outcome and go, you know what? I'm going to put the effort in. I'm going to show up. I'm going to make these things happen. And then whatever comes of it, that's actually out of my control. What I can control is how I show up, how I talk to myself, how I sit through this challenge of doing something that feels really big and scary, but also so exciting. So exciting. And then this morning, I got to do my first call with the women, and it was a small turnout, which was lovely. Again, I had spoken with myself this morning and this whole week saying, this is not about how many people come to the live call. This does not reflect who you are. You know who you are. You know who you are. And you are delivering information and education to these women, whether they are there on the call, whether they listen back to it, whether they never see it. This information is a way for you to practice articulating, practice putting your ideas together in a digestible way, and potentially helping one woman be able to learn and implement this gratitude practice a little bit more successfully. Now, the part that I really want to talk about with this is that I prepped this presentation in about 30 to 45 minutes last night. And again, 6 months ago, if you had told me that I would do this within 12 hours of the presentation happening, I would have freaked out. Because in the past, if I knew I had a presentation, I would have probably pushed it out for a few weeks so that I had time to think and iterate and reflect and change and adjust, do all these things to try and make it perfect. Nope, not this time. I set the intent when I came up with this idea. I thought, oh, should I do calls? Should I not do calls? And then I said, you know what? I had the thought to do a call. Why not? Why not do a weekly call? I could talk about 4 different things that could potentially help these women. Why not? And so I set the themes for the week, the topics that I wanted to talk about. I did that on the weekend. And then this week, I had lots of stuff going on. I was focused in different areas. And even on Tuesday, my husband said to me, when are you going to prep for this presentation? And again, 6 months ago, in this exact situation, I would have been freaking out. And I probably would have been saying to him, look, I'm going to need extra time. We're going to have to switch around our work days. I'm going to have to get up really early or stay up really late in order to do this and be super stressed. But even when he said that, I had this sense of ease of, I don't need to stress about this. I've got this. I know what I'm talking about. This is something I'm really passionate about. I know a lot about it, and it's not going to take me that long to figure it out. So I'll just do it. I'll make some time and I'll do it. And so last night I sat down, I typed some stuff out, and then I had to kind of cut some stuff out because I specifically made these calls quite short so that I'm not overwhelming people with information. And then I just put together a slide deck. He helped me to make it look a little bit nicer, and then that was it. And then again, normally I would have wanted to practice it 7, 8, 9 times before I did the call. And this morning I got up, I did my meditation, we did some yoga, had breakfast, and then I got my daughter ready. And 10 minutes before the call, I came in here, I did some visualization, and then I joined. I didn't go through it at all. And I actually can't believe that. I can't believe that because in the past, that just would not have happened. But again, all of this, the whole point that I am making in this episode, what I'm really trying to say here is that when you decide to do something and when you allow yourself to do it, despite whatever thoughts are coming up or despite how you might not feel ready, you will step into this version of yourself that is like, this is who I am now, and this is what we're doing. So here we go. Let's make it happen. And all of a sudden, not all of a sudden, but I just had this sense of ease. That's the word that comes to me, is instead of this nervous, chaotic energy, it was ease, trust that I can do this and that I am doing something that feels so in alignment with where I'm going. And it's amazing. It's amazing. I cannot wait to see how the rest of this month is going to unfold and where I'm going to be at the end of it and where this community is going to be at the end of it, the insights, the wisdom, the lessons that we will have learned and shared together throughout this process is really exciting to think about. And like I said, I am very proud of myself and I wanted to document this. So this episode is a little bit different because I'm just speaking off the cuff. I mean, I'm always speaking off the cuff, but this episode is more for me to be able to listen back to this and really hear this excitement that I'm feeling, but also the power that I'm feeling in being able to just let go of all the bullshit and not worry about the things that I can't control, but lean into the things that I can control and realize that we are actually so much more capable than we think we are. We are so much more capable than we think we are. there is this power that is inside of us that if we are willing to make space and to tap into who we are, the things that we can create are just unfathomable to the person that is potentially listening right now. The version of you that can create this incredible thing, whatever that looks like for you, it's already in you. The power is in you. It's just about being able to find it and bring it into the forefront and then listen and not let these other voices, not let all the noise take over, because that's what happened to me for years. All these ideas that I had that I never acted on because the outside noise made it so hard for me to hear my own voice and my own sense of power that was underneath it all. And the more that I'm tapping in and locking in to this person, this version of me, the more I know I'm going to move myself and propel myself forward on this path. And this gratitude challenge that I'm running right now is one of the very first reps of me doing this, of me just fully letting go and leading something where I have multiple people. It feels, I guess it's not the first rep because this podcast is probably the first rep and posting online and all of that. But this is like the first rep of the next level where it's not just me sitting in my office recording and talking out into the world. There's now a group of women who are looking to me and are following me through this process, and I'm getting to step into this version of myself that I know is already there, but I am so excited to fully unleash and embody as I move forward. So I hope that this was useful. I know it's going to be useful for me in the future, but also was so nice to just be able to talk about this out loud and reflect on this journey that I've been on the last couple of weeks. And as always, I will keep you updated, and this will, by the time this airs, this will be over. So I'll probably be talking about it on my socials as well. If you have any thoughts or you'd like to chat, you can reach out to me on Instagram at Hey Brooke Dawson. You can leave a comment on this YouTube video. Please leave us a review if you are loving the content on Spotify or on Apple Podcasts. I really appreciate each and every one of you for listening. This is my greatest joy. It is everything to me. I am so grateful, like I said, to be doing this and to be sharing my ideas and to be finally stepping into this version of me. So I hope you have an incredible rest of your day, whatever it is that you're doing, and I cannot wait to see you in the next one.